let's invite Signature Global. That's the next stock on our radar. Now, the company has been in news this week for several reasons. On 3rd of September, we saw a very large trade amounting to 828 crore change hands via a block deal. We're talking about 4% of the company's equity. Also, the company announced a slew of new senior-level management changes. To discuss all this and more, we have with us Rajat Kathuria, CEO of Signature Global. Rajat, thank you very much for joining in. This large 828 crore of block deal that we saw, could you tell us who the buyers and sellers were, and are they in any way connected to the company? Or are they existing investors who've sold or pared their stake?
Yeah, hi Reema. Thanks for inviting us to the show. So see, trading volumes, have been going up since we got listed. Yes, I think 3rd of September, there was a large trade which happened. So a couple of large, institutional investors have entered is our understanding. So there was no kind of, correlation with the company because the promoter group didn't sell, any share. So this was purely a market trade. A few institutional investors have entered and some of, I would say, more individual layer or HNI sort of, investors had exited. But yes, I think the entrants were primarily, this institution called Fidelity, I think, which has entered.
So the ones who sold were more HNIs. They're not large institutions who have been long-standing shareholders in your company.
Yes.
Rajat, good morning. Thank you so much for joining in, and get to the business bit straight off. You had a very good first quarter. Your pre-sales were up almost 3 times in value, but they were down on a sequential basis. You've almost achieved, 30% of your full year sales guidance, which was around 10,000 crore. Do you stick to that number, say, by the end of the year, or considering the response that you've had in the first quarter? Also couple that up with what kind of momentum you've seen in the second quarter. And then, of course, would you like to revise that number higher for the end of the year?
Yeah, so see, as far as the annual guidance is concerned, I'll stick to it. We are comfortable with the guidance, at this part of the year as well. Can't really comment on the, quarterly forecast, but on an annual basis, we are comfortable with regard to our sales guidance because in general, sales velocities, collections, tend to be good in the business. So we are comfortable with that number.
How has business been in this quarter, Rajat? Do you see the kind of momentum what you saw in the first quarter translating into this one as well, or do you see some bit of tapering off considering the response that you saw in the first quarter?
So, see, we've not, the first quarter response was good because we'd launched a large project just towards the end of that quarter, and, there was very good sales response to that particular project. We are coming up with another large project, which is near the corner, but I can't really comment on the date as of now. We expect a fairly good response to the next launch as well. But to say whether it's kind of happening within this quarter or the coming quarter will be a little I would say speculative in nature. But in general, the market's behaving well. We are going through a strong sort of or sustained sort of situation as far as sales velocities are concerned. And we are fairly bullish on achieving this annual guidance of 10,000 crores.
You also launched an affordable housing project, Signature Global Proxima, again in Gurugram. What's the total development value of this, the potential? And have you had any pre-sales?
So, Reema, that was a very small, a small extension to one of, two of our existing projects by the name of Proxima 1 and Proxima 2, which are fully sold out and, almost getting completed, nearing completion sort of situation. So that was just a small inventory which we had launched, and, it gets absorbed, as you launched. So.
Rajat, confirmation needed from you on a couple of numbers. The last time you spoke to us, you mentioned that your realizations on an average would remain around 13 to 14,000. Do you stick to that number, 1? And 2, will you also your launches for the year? You're slating it to be around 16,000 crore. You're launching another new large project, as you just mentioned, on the annual. Would that number go up considering this launch?
So we stick to both the numbers at this stage. So for the year, if we are targeting a sale of about 10,000 odd crores, the average per capital, per square foot value will be anywhere between 13 to 14,000 rupees a foot, which means that we'll be selling almost close to about 7 odd million square foot during this year. And we still very much stick to our, annual launch guidance of about 16,000 rupees a foot. So we stand by all the numbers, and very hopeful of achieving it.
So, there was this ICICI Securities note, I don't know if you had a look, that came out in Signature Global, and it happened earlier this week, where they're bullish on the company. They've got a buy rating. They've put the target price at 1905. And there are a couple of reasons. One, they're saying that you've successfully transitioned into a mid-income premium segment, real estate company. And two, they're talking about the next level of growth coming in from Noida, where the company may look to augment its land bank through outright purchases or a joint development route. If we look at the next 5 years for the company, now that you are moving a little more premium, what would that average realization? Do you think you can take it up to 20,000 in the next 5 years? And what would your expansion plans be, geographical expansion plan? In the next 5 years, do you think, maybe a Noida can contribute an X percentage to your overall revenues?
So, Reema, ICICI Securities has good understanding of the company because they were our left lead when we went public. So they've been tracking us, very closely for a little while, for a couple of years now. So they have a good understanding about the company, and I'm happy that, they've revised the, guidance on the price point. Our focus will remain the national capital region, but we are open to exploring newer markets within, this metropolitan area, which is quite huge. Currently, our focus is Gurgaon, and Gurgaon will remain the, center point of whatever we are doing. But, we are open to exploring newer markets within the NCR region. It would be a little too early to say that what newer market will contribute to our sale, in the years to come. But we will do, some bit of geographic spread within the NCR market.
Okay, and that average realization 5 years down the line?
5 years is a long time to really, predict. But yes, this number, which we are saying 13 to 14,000, should go up at least on an inflation-adjusted basis, and whatever it, leads to over a 4 to 5 year period.
Well, if 5 years is a long time, Rajat, I'll ask you an immediate question. For your debt currently at around 980 crore, do you see that tapering down towards the end of the year? Say by the end of the year, you would want to end the year with a certain amount of debt, say around 800, 700 crore, bring it down?
So, see, the net debt is at a very manageable level. It's below 1,000 crores by the end of the years. By the end of this year, that number will go down further. So I don't think it's too high at the current levels as well, but, it will go down further, and, balance sheet position will only look improved and better by the end of this fiscal year.
Thank you, Rohit, for joining in. Enjoy your weekend and the rest of